Welcome back, everyone. World Questions is a BBC radio debate series in partnership with the British Council, giving citizens around the world a voice on issues that affect their lives. And guess what? They've made a stop in Jamaica. So here to tell us what's happening on this trip, BBC journalist Johnny Diamond. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Jamaica and welcome to Smile
Thank
Jamaica.
you very much indeed. It's a joy to be in Jamaica and a particular joy to be here. Thank you.
First time in Jamaica?
Yes, first time in Jamaica. Not the last time.
Yeah.
Aha.
Good.
Wonderful.
World Questions. What's that?
Look, the aim of World Questions is to allow public debate with senior politicians, thinkers, cultural figures, but most importantly to allow that debate not to happen with me, with the BBC, but with the audience. It's the audience who are the key part of this. So the questions come from the audience, the debate comes from the audience. We put quite a lot of the issues back to the audience as well. Obviously, we hear from the panel. Last night, we were very fortunate to have the Minister for Foreign Affairs as one of the four of the panel. We put the questions to the panel. We let them debate it. We let the audience have their say as well. So we try and have a lively debate, an intelligent debate, and a probing debate. I think that's what we got.
Do you kind of vet the questions because you don't want me to come in and say, well, you know, I like how the minister looks or something crazy?
I mean, you know, there's always some kind of choosing process.
Right.
We get people to write out their questions.
Okay.
We group them in topics. We always make sure if you get a lot of questions on one topic, then a question goes from that topic.
Right.
So there's a bit of choice, but the key thing is it really does come from the audience.
Okay.
Have you found that any great change has occurred from any of these debates?
Well, you know, I'm not sure change comes as quickly as that. And, you know, a lot of politicians are quite cautious. The Minister for Foreign Affairs was quite cautious last night. But it's a gradual process. And what's been really lovely is people have come up to us afterwards, members of the audience have come up to us afterwards and said, we love this format. We love the way that you get the politicians on the spot, that we make the politicians accountable, and that we let the public speak directly to them. So, you know, it's not about the BBC barging in here and saying this is the way we do things, this is the way that things should be done. It's about trying to open up debate, and we hope that with good debate comes better decision-making and better understanding as well.
Do you find, because you've been to many different countries, obviously, do you find that the questions are kind of the same, or is it different in India that a question that would be asked in Jamaica?
Neville, that's a really good point. You get a lot of questions on some specific topics. We get a lot of questions on the environment. We get quite a lot of questions, obviously, about the economy. That's always a big story for people. And then you get surprising things. You know, you think when you go to somewhere like Beirut, to Lebanon, you might get a lot of questions about the Syrian war and things like that. In fact, you get a lot more questions about rubbish removal, about water supplies, about the big domestic issues. So you get surprises and you get regular things. It's a mix.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you've chosen to do this, but why? What was the motivation in going to all of these different countries, being a British-based show?
Well, the World Service has always tried to do exactly what it says in the title, to serve the world. And we were very fortunate. Kofi Annan, the former Secretary-General of the United Nations, called the World Service Britain's greatest gift to the world. And that's what we try and do, is to encourage intelligent debate around the world and to help people understand what's going on in their country, what's going on in other countries, and perhaps spread a little peace and understanding that way.
I don't know if this came up in the questions last night. I don't want to misquote you, but you are quoted saying that the Chinese, and I think you said the word takeover is a strong word. But I think the suggestion was that we ought to be careful about what the Chinese might be doing in our country. Is that fair?
Look, I think that we should probably clear up something about today's Gleaner.
Right.
The headline is probably a bit stronger than the actual material that I said.
Right.
And it's often the way with newspapers. I understand that, you know, you've got to try and grab people's attention. What I said to the Gleaner is that I think countries around the world, including Britain, the United States, Canada, countries big and small, are seeing big swells of investment from China. And there is wariness around the world about what China wants, whether it's in developing countries or richer countries, whatever it is. In Britain, there's a big debate about technology, about Chinese technology, and about the national security risks there. I know there's a debate here in Jamaica. Now, I was saying, you know, Jamaica didn't fight for its independence to give it up to America, to give it back to Britain, to give it up to China. And so it was the discussion. And I think that's a discussion that's going on all around the world about what China wants. And China is acting in a new way. But no one does anything for nothing in this world.
Do you have a personal opinion on this? On
well,
what China wants?
What China wants? I mean, China wants to get rich quick, I'm sure. Who doesn't? Everyone wants the best for their citizens. It's just about whether or not that works within a world order. That's all. So I think, the wariness is there in nearly every country that is seeing this kind of Chinese investments and Chinese growth. And it's the speed of it that I think makes people think, whoa, we've got to work out how to handle
Should be concerned a bit.
Yeah.
What option would you have countries take when presented with this kind of investment from China?
I think for every country, it's always going to be different, and I can entirely understand. I was around University of the West Indies, and I saw the new medical facility there that I think has been paid for with Chinese investment. It's stunning. Who's going to say no to that? Okay, it's just I guess it's just about all countries coming from their own different perspectives. Like I say, Britain is concerned about its national security issues with new technology. All countries are going to look at it from the different perspectives of what they want to get out of the investment and how much they're prepared to give as well.
Is ulterior motive a good phrase here?
Well, I mean, like I say, no one does something for nothing,
Right.
does
Okay.
it?
Brexit. And forgive my ignorance, because I thought you had left the European Union, and apparently there's going to be another referendum, or what's going on with
Possibly.
that?
Okay, so we voted to leave
Right.
Back in 2016, about 2.5 years
Why
ago.
though? Why you wanted to leave in the first place?
Well,
Did you vote to leave?
Look, forgive me. I'm a journalist. I do a lot of this back in Britain. I'm not going to talk about my personal opinions. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
That's
definitely.
fair. That's fair.
Britain voted to leave. It was presented, I think, to the people as perhaps a rather more simple process than it actually is. It's an incredibly complex process with a number of different trade-offs, how much access we want to European markets compared to how much control we want over our laws and our borders. So it's incredibly complicated.
But you're an independent country. Why can't you just say, we're gone?
Because we have commitments that have built up over the 40 years of membership with the EU.
Okay.
Hugely complex commitments. These are trading agreements. Like Jamaica has trading agreements.
Right.
It's complicated. Extracting yourself from that and at the same time re-establishing a market with Europe is complicated. So it's going to stay complicated. And this is the
Yeah, we have to go. Final question. Now that you get your answers from all across the world, what happens now? Now you hear how Jamaicans feel about the environment and everything. What do you do?
Well,
with
look,
that?
I take that knowledge away and build on it for the next show, build on it for the next time that we come back to Jamaica in any shape or form.
Okay.
It's a continual building process, and it's a continued process of debate. I hope each country can learn from another and the debate goes on.
Great to meet you.
Really great to meet you. Thank you very much indeed.
And enjoy the rest of the time.
Thank you very much.
BBC journalist Johnny Diamond. That's an incredible name, by the way.
I know, right?
I don't mind
Couldn't
Neville
have a...
Sakina, you know.
Oh, you
I think
couldn't
that's
have...
pretty good.
Diamond, I think
That's
that
an incredible
one
name.
takes
I
it.
think I'm going to change my name. I'm Johnny Diamond. It's like I'm a star.
You stick with Neville.
I'm a
It's
star.
good.
I just
You're a star
say it,
anyway.
folks. I'm Johnny Diamond. God. Okay, what's next?
They say your diamond body is just some workouts away.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yes. If you can't have the name, you might as well have the body. Quartz has what you need to set up your home gym. We're going to show you what they have when we get back from the spanking brand new Studio B.
Soon come. Stay with us, please.